Hi again. For Estranged Student Solidarity Week, some UWEBristol students have got together with UCare staff to talk about the impact that being estranged or being separated from your parents has had on their student experience and their student life. So, how has being estranged affected your student life or your student experience?
Definitely in how, of course, because I am not, I'm more or less not in contact with my family. Um, that means, of course, when other people talk about, family visiting and them going home to their families for Christmas and whatever, I always feel like I'm a lot different to them, and it's hard for me to fit in because I don't have those like family bonds, and every time someone, casually brings it up, it triggers things and makes me upset.
So, it really affects your student experience. It's that feeling of having a different situation to what your friends maybe have. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much. Um, what's hard or difficult for you about being a strange student without family support?
For me, the student life has been affected by being estranged in many ways. Um, if I get into financial issue, maybe I don't have enough food for the week, I can't just ask my parents. I don't have that safety net. Um, that and yeah, going back to Christmas, that's especially hard. Everyone's going home, and I haven't spent Christmas with my family for nearly a decade, which is hard. And it does kind of leave that gap between you and your friends. They're all having a good time. You're kind of just either stuck in 365-day halls or with people that disappear to go home to their families.
Sounds really, really tough. Really tough. Um, how does being estranged affect your student experience, your student life?
Being estranged has certainly affected student life. It's trying to relate to other students' issues and vice versa, really. They it's simple things like, Mum, Dad, can you read over this assignment, see if I've made any typos? Mum, Dad, I'm not feeling very well, and they'll send over a gift package. They would help unpack, our Mum's just popped over with new bedding or something. All things that I can't necessarily relate to. If they're stressed, if they're feeling a little bit alone or down about something, is only a phone call away. And it's very much like financially as well. It's just having to be more responsible, manage money better. People are not so understanding when you don't actually want to spend your last bit of money in the bank account on a night out, because they think going into be it overdrafts or relying on parents is a viable option, when I know that in reality is not. And unfortunately, I think a lot of students feel that they can relate based upon an argument they might have had with their parents, but the realities of day-to-day livelihood and practicality, don't think they really do a lot of the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you so much for making that point. I think that's really important. Would you like to talk about your experience? How does being estranged affect your student life?
So being estranged affects my student life because one main aspect is my permanent accommodation is student accommodation. And usually when standard students just come here, it's just like a little, place away from home. It's kind of disheartening when that's your home. And as well as that, it's great to have supportive friends, but they won't truly understand, what it's like to actually be independent, to need a bit of help moving between accommodation and yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much for bringing that up. I think accommodation is one of the biggest challenges I hear working in UE Cares from all of you. So I'm really glad you brought that up. So how does being estranged affect your student life or your student experience? What's hard or difficult for you studying without family support?
So me personally, I find it hard to deal with households and student accommodation. I find sometimes university can be really overwhelming, and then like my anger gets the better of me, especially when I don't understand something or there's financial situations, or sometimes university suggests you buy like a big art kit that costs like £200, and I would like, well, I don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
It's normally things that universities like ask that you buy, but you don't have that money, which sometimes really stresses me out. I find Christmases and birthdays hard the most at uni, mainly Christmas, and it's just kind of like I feel like having no support, in the sense that, say if someone else had got their degree, they'd get like celebrated for that, but it's just like it would just be me for myself. You're wanting someone to celebrate your achievements with you, but it's just you, and yeah, that's it really.
Thanks so much for sharing those things. Really appreciate it, everybody. If you're listening, please be an ally to estranged students. Recognise that, you know, university is tough for everyone, but it's tougher without the support of family. We've talked about Christmas, birthdays, finances. You know, reach out during lockdown, during Christmas. Be mindful of those who cannot rely on outside family support in tough times, such as those who are estranged from their parents here at UWE Bristol.